What's going on, guys? In this video we're going over the most effective way to burn fat, and by the end of this video you're going to know exactly how you can eat just about anything you want and still burn fat. Now before we get into that, my name's Keefe. I made this channel to help men create their ideal lives through self-mastery. Be sure to hit that bell icon and subscribe button so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into it. Now, this super effective technique that I'm getting ready to show you, it's called intermittent fasting. Now if you've watched videos on intermittent fasting before, don't hit the X button just yet, because I'm going to add a few more details that you probably haven't heard before to this, as well as explaining some different ways you can eat so that you can end up eating anything you want and still be burning fat. For those of you who aren't familiar with intermittent fasting though, intermittent fasting is essentially where you take control of the hours that you're going to eat during the day. Now, in all honesty, everybody has a fasting period during their days, whether it be just because you're asleep, you're not eating, that's a fast, or maybe you're stuck in meetings and you can't eat, so that's a fast. But essentially what we're doing here is we're taking conscious control of the eating period during your day. So I recommend doing an 8-hour window. I usually get my first meal in after I work out, which usually ends up being about 9:30, 10 in the morning. So then I'll usually finish eating around 5:30, 6 in the evening. And basically what this does, it has to do with optimizing your hormones, particularly leptin. And now guys, I doubt you want a science lesson on leptin and all these hormones, so I'll just keep it simple. Leptin regulates all the other hormones that have to do with your metabolism. And so what happens is most diets, what they tell you to do is they tell you to lower the amount of calories you eat, and this does work to some degree, obviously, but leptin, what it does is the lower your calories go, the less your leptin works. Essentially, the less leptin you produce. And so because of this, you burn less fat. So it's like a catch-22. You lower your calories, you burn less fat because of the leptin. So this is why people can start losing weight, but then they plateau. It's because if you're just lowering your calories so much that your metabolism slows down so much to keep up with it. So basically what intermittent fasting does is it puts your hormones on your side because it gets leptin and all your other hormones to work for you. And so how this works is you eat all the calories you need within this 8-hour window, and then you stop. And so essentially you're like turning your hormones on and your metabolism on really quickly, and then you're stopping it. And it's like the stop start. It's almost like you could equate it to if somebody ate all day, it would be like a jogger versus like a sprinter is like a quick burst, right? And you've seen sprinters and you've seen joggers. Like sprinters are usually very ripped, and people who jog are usually just skinny, but they're not defined and they're not muscular at all. So essentially this comes down to, by eating all your meals within this window, 8-hour window as I recommend, you are basically getting your hormones to work for you to burn fat with you rather than having to constantly be fighting them. And the benefit of this is you get a lot more leeway with what you can eat. Now, this doesn't mean that you can eat anything you want all the time. I want to be clear now that you actually can to a large degree after you've gotten all your hormones optimized, but I don't want this video to get too sciencey and I don't want to get into all that. But if you do want to learn like all the specifics about like how to like really master intermittent fasting, master your body so you can burn fat, build muscle, do all these things, I highly recommend you check out a book called Engineering the Alpha. I'll put a link to it in the description box below. This is the book that really was like super impactful for me when it came to my health, not just my body as far as like looking good and building muscle, burning fat, but just like feeling better, raising my testosterone, improving my sex drive. Like, it's an incredible book. I really recommend you check it out. It's all about optimizing your hormones, because in today's world most men are really struggling. Like, testosterone levels are down in some estimates 40% over the last 40 years. I mean, men just are less manly than they used to be, and this book's about helping you bring back that manhood through your diet and through your exercise. But when it comes down to this, if you get this right, if you eat within this 8-hour window, what happens is, and you're eating like appropriate foods, right? Like, I mean, I don't want to say like in this 8-hour window you're just shoving donuts in your mouth and like you're going to get shredded. That's not how it works. You still got to eat good foods. You don't want to be eating sugar all the time, and you don't want to be, I mean, you want to get enough protein, you want to get enough correct calories and the right kind of stuff. So you like obviously still need to do what you're doing, but if you do this for 6 days out of the week, on the 7th day you can smash whatever food you want. I'm actually going to make a vlog here in a couple weeks of me doing a 10,000 calorie challenge day for a cheat day, because I just got locked in on like the full diet again for this Engineering the Alpha book. I just started it back. I'm going to be doing a cheat day, and I'm going to do a 10,000 calorie challenge day. And the way leptin works, and like I was talking about how leptin, you produce more of it when you eat more calories, by eating all this food on this one day a week, I'm actually going to burn more fat by eating a crap ton of food. I'm talking like pancakes, omelets, like whatever I want this one day, and it's just going to end up speeding my metabolism up so much that I'm actually going to burn more fat than if I didn't do it. And that's the really awesome thing about it. So it is, I just want to make it clear, it's possible that you can eat whatever you want and still have a great body. And that's why I love intermittent fasting versus a lot of old school bodybuilding diets where they're so caught up on like 5 meals a day and specific proportions and things like that. Like the science has passed that stuff by, and there's a lot of old heads in the fitness world who want to tell you still got to do all this kind of stuff, and it's just not true. You can follow this intermittent fasting. I recommend doing high fat diets for the most part, but as you'll see if you get the book, you can do low carb, high carb, and then low fat, high fat. Like, it doesn't matter as long as you're really nailing the intermittent fasting window, and you can still have these days where you just smash whatever food you want and you'll get more muscle and more fat. I'm not kidding, guys. I'll actually add a picture right here on the screen just because I want to show you guys. That was a picture of me, I think I was 19, 20 years old, and I just got super ripped on this diet. I actually literally went from like 10% body fat to 3 to 4% body fat in a week. I actually had it measured in a class I was in college, and I was like shocked. I didn't realize it like had gotten that low, and I just telling you, I felt amazing. It's like getting on this intermittent fasting window, getting your hormones to work for you, eating the right stuff. I can't tell you guys how much of an impact this will have on your life. It's not just about having abs. It's about feeling great, you know? I was actually making this point to somebody who wanted to like keep doing all these indulging in like sugar and like alcohol and all these things like that. And I asked him, I was like, so why are you doing this? Why are you eating this? Because it feels good, or it tastes good, or it feels better to be drunk. And I was like, well, what if you just ate healthy so you felt good all the time and you didn't have to do these kinds of things all the time? Like, sure, you want to go drink or have something, go ahead, but like, what if you could just feel great all the time because you ate correctly and you took care of your body appropriately? And that's a no-brainer. It's like, well, like, I'd never thought of it that way. But like, seriously, like, the whole reason you're doing these low-level things like drinking or eating bad foods is usually for the indulging pleasure of it. But what if you just felt great all the time? And that's the point, and that's the benefit you can get out of eating properly, doing intermittent fasting. And then you also get to eat pretty much whatever you want once a week, and it's just really awesome. So essentially, I'll just summarize by saying this, guys. The best way to burn fat and build muscle at the same time is to get on an intermittent fasting window and to have weekly cheat days where you just smack whatever food you want. And like I said, guys, there is more detail to this, but I didn't want this video to get too long and too sciencey. But if you want to learn everything about this stuff and really master your diet and your like fitness, I would really recommend checking out that book. But thanks for watching, guys. That's all I got for this video. If you got something out of it, be sure to give me a like so I can reach more guys with my message. Also, again, be sure to hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss tomorrow's video, and I'll talk soon.